Hello there, and it all comes down to this. This is the final game of the final match of the Star City Games Invitational Qualifier here in sunny Doncaster. Carrie Oliver getting to go first against Jonathan Randle, and they're tied at one game apiece.
Yeah, unfortunately Carrie has mulliganed down to 6 in this game, so that's going to cost her a little bit in terms of longevity.
Unfortunate for who?
Unfortunate for Carrie, obviously. Would like to see at least a evenish sort of game, just to make sure that this tournament goes out the way it deserves to.
And Carrie's start leads out with the obligatory schmo turn 1.
Reckless Waif is a pretty good turn 1 play, while Nakatl's banned in Modern, so having a 3-power guy on turn 1, and that's a haste creature as well, so that's 5 coming across the border on turn 2 for Carrie. That's about as good as she can...
So Jonathan really needs the Augur turn 2 or a burn spell.
Well, Augur, burn spell, Azorius Charmed at least keep him in it somewhat. In they come again. Snapcaster Mage is going to trade with the Reckless Waif, I'd imagine, here, unless Carrie's got something to say about it.
Well, that would have been the perfect play, really, from Carrie to actually have a burn spell there.
Yeah, unfortunately for her, doesn't, and the Snapcaster does get to trade with the Waif. And more 1-drops from Carrie, so this is
More
pretty
smokes.
good from her. If she can go land Hellrider next turn, I think that John's going to be in all sorts of trouble. That mulligan to 6 could be really hurting her now, because she's going to have to top deck one way or the other, be it a 4th land or something like a Hellrider, to try and finish this game off.
Well, my recommendation to Jonathan at this point is to play a land.
Yeah, it's a good start, very good start. But which land? Especially considering with the M10 and Innistrad style tap lands that Glacial Fortress is going to come into play untapped here for him. So tapped. It's only the Clifftop Retreat and Steam Vents that are coming to play untapped, but away with it a little there, and that is Devil's Play taking out the Ash Zealot.
So really a Hellrider here would pretty much wrap this game up for Carrie, but no such luck.
No such luck, and only in for 3. It would have been in for another 6 if a Hellrider had dropped then, and it would have pretty much been Supreme Verdict or no from Jonathan there, but it looks like he's going to have a little bit more time to try and get himself back into this game.
Of course, now every shock land is taking away a 1/5 of your own life total.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to be bringing those into play on tap now if you can avoid it. And there's the Wall of Bolas. Missing. Having said that though, with Jonathan has hit 3 times in a row on camera with that today, so I think it's only fair that it misses once or twice.
And what was the land he brought in there at the end?
That was a Sulphur Falls, so it's coming to play untapped. The Augur blocks the Rakdos Cattler, and Azorius Charm is going to take care of the Stromkirk Noble. Again, very effective against things with counters on it. And here comes more 1-drop schmoes from Carrie, which aren't really going to affect the board too much. She needs something big at this point.
So Jonathan got pretty lucky in that respect with Carrie's draw.
We honestly don't know what's in his hand.
He definitely couldn't have won if Carrie had got a nut draw at the end there.
If Carrie had land Hellridered, yeah, I think we're looking at a very different result here. But as it is, I mean, Jonathan's hand doesn't look that spectacular at the moment. He's got to draw into some gas, really. Seems to have a few land and maybe a couple of draws, but I think I just saw an angel being flashed there, so maybe he does have the... maybe he does have everything he needs at this point.
Well, we know Carrie doesn't have a burn spell. She would have played it a couple of turns ago on the Snapcaster, so maybe he's just better dropping the angel before letting her have a draw.
Yeah, and Carrie just says go there, not falling for the... not deciding to throw men into an angel. Augur's missed again for Still, that's 7 toughness on defence now for Jonathan. We'll see if he can muster a way to bring Carrie's life total down at this point. I think I can see a think twice in Jonathan's hand.
He certainly can't afford to attack at this point.
No, but the overriding thing he's got to be thinking as well is that he can't really afford to sit back too much. He's got to be a little bit proactive, because otherwise a top-decked Hell Rider or something like that is just going to be that much more devastating if he lets Carrie build up forces.
It's going to be even more devastating if you've attacked with one of your creatures, though.
Very true.
Giving yourself 1 blocker against 4.
Very true.
When you're on 6 life.
The other thing, of course, being that Carrie is representing Brimstone Volley as well, so...
Yep.
Flashback the think twice, and untap. Just looking at Jonathan's mana base, it is a very nice interaction between the Shocklands and the M10 and Innistrad check lands, as I believe they're called, where they check if a island or plains is in play. It makes some very elaborate mana bases in Standard these days. Pretty sure that you can get away with having no basics in your deck in Standard at the moment. Whereas I believe Carrie is only playing 1 non-basic land in her deck, and that's 1 Hellion Crucible. The rest of her deck is just straight up mountains.
All with different pictures.
No Cavern of Souls either, because it doesn't work very well with Stonemwright. And the fact of the matter is that Carrie's got a complete splash of creature types, so Cavern wouldn't really be that helpful unless it was on something like Devil for Hell Rider. But counterspells tend to be quite poor against red decks anyway, so I don't see much reason for it.
Dropping to 8 off a Shockland and passing the turn, so that suggests he's going to be drawing some cards.
Yeah, definitely representing Sphinx's Revelation here. However, Carrie might have a way through that. I can see Searing Spear and Brimstone Volley in Carrie's hand, so if she can actually get one of her creatures to die here before John casts that Sphinx's Revelation, she can kill him in response. She's kind of signifying she has it just by throwing her creatures into the maw like this, because at most she's going to get 1 damage through, but all it's about at this point is trying to get morbid for that Brimstone Volley, and it's whether Jonathan reads that for what it is and plays his way around it. Of course, he can't take too much damage off the attack, otherwise that Brimstone Volley and Searing Spear is going to be lethal anyway. But I think he's very much reading this for what it is, and going to blocks. Yeah, no fast effects, and before anything happens, Jonathan's going to draw 4 cards with that Sphinx's Revelation. So really nice timing there from Jonathan, realising what Carrie's attack pretty much represented there. And that Sphinx's Revelation is going to put Carrie a mile behind here. I think that was pretty much Carrie's last chance at winning this game, I believe. Yeah, and we can see when she's flashing her hand there, she did have the lethal combination there.
And really, you don't want to be pointing those burn spells at Jonathan's creatures, so she's just got to kind of sit there and hope that she draws a couple more burn spells.
Yeah, a couple more creatures. Just try and get Jonathan back into range. And just hope he doesn't have another Sphinx's Revelation before time runs out on him. And obviously that attack was pretty brutal for Carrie's creatures. She's now down to a single Rakdos Cackler. which can't block. So it really is down to this point now if Jonathan can finish her before she builds back up to a sort of critical mass of burn.
But being Jonathan, he won't rush over anything.
No, don't think so. He'll make sure that he does things properly. And there's another ogre. Find something this time. So Thought Scar will go back to filling his graveyard. And the angel and the ogre come in for 4. Not Carrie down to 15. I think John will just pass with a full grip of cards and Carrie, it looks like she's just going to point that Spearing Spear directly at Jonathan and
hope for another burn spell next turn.
Yep.
So again, it's about playing to your outs, really.
Yeah, essentially going burn your ogre, attack you, brimstone volley you. Do you have an answer to it? It's another of her potential outs at that point. Thought Scouring himself. Drawing basic island, not really the best draw he could have had. Thought Scouring again. Just a graveyard full of action at the moment. A Staticaster was drawn there. Restoration Angel, how about I draw some more cards? Maybe, depending on how kind the ogre's feeling towards me. Yep. Even more cards for Jonathan. And we might even see Azorius Charms' third mode here. Should be Jonathan just attacking for 8 and then gaining 8 using Azorius Charms' third ability to give all his creatures lifelink until end of turn. Some fingers on the cards there from John. Yep, there's my fast effect to give all my creatures lifelink. And that's pretty much going to bury this game right there and then.
Swapping life totals.
Yep. Very convenient for those who have to edit videos.
So certainly what we saw in Game 3 was a couple of really crucial turns here with Carrie struggling when she got to 4 mana to actually make a big threat, and of course Jonathan not falling for the combat trick as well.
Yeah. And is this going to be a third Restoration Angel? Yes, it is, and I think that is pretty showing Pillar of Flame as well. I think that's all she wrote as far as this goes. May I go to blockers? Or does Jonathan have even more action? He has even more in the way of an Izzet Staticaster, and Carrie offers the hand there.
However, both of them will be winning an invite.
Along with our 2 defeated semi-finalists, Ben Heath and Simon Marshall, they will also earn an invite.
Jonathan very graciously offered to draw the ID. So far as the prize money was concerned, they agreed to split that, and it was quite a favourable match-up for Jonathan in the end, as it turns out.
Aside from Game 1 where things went that little bit wrong for him.
That was only because he chose to lose. So.
Not the first person to do so and won't be the last.
So thanks for watching, and stay with us, and we'll have an interview with both of the finalists.